away, Bee. Go away, Bee. I just want to get you to having your tucking into your.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 2 of our Canopy build. Now I'm sorry for the delay of getting this one out to you because the canopy's actually been finished for a little while, but we're both working full time. We've had family over staying with us, so we've sort of been a bit time starved to get this out, but hey, we're out and about now. We'll show you through how this has worked out for us and what we've put in. And it is pretty windy here, so hopefully the wind's not interfering with the audio too much, but a few flies around as well, but hey, we'll just deal with that. Right, okay, let's talk you through how we started with the build. So first thing to go in was the fridge. Now we fitted a 130 litre Bushman's, which fits perfectly top to bottom, like it just literally slips in. And we fitted this to the Bushman surround, which you can do, you don't have to. I think we decided to because it sort of locks everything together. It's fairly easy to fit, and the fridge like screws in around the sides and stuff, so it's locked in and it's sturdy. So that's the fridge, and they're an awesome setup inside. There's a spot for everything, so this works well for us, I think. Then we fitted 2 drawers. So we got these from MW, company here in WA. Drawer for, well, we're still trying to organise what goes where a little. This is like our first go out and see how the canopy goes. But so that's the cooktop in there. We have our utensils and things in here because that sort of makes sense. Prep table comes out here, which works well. We've actually just cooked on here, and that was good. Pull out pantry. Now this is quite a big pantry because this is where most of our cooking is gonna be done. We do cook a bit in the caravan, but obviously the caravan's a tighter space. We want to be outside cooking, so big pantry was the way to go for us. And this all only just fits in. But yeah, no, that's good. Okay, in the wheel bag, we've gone for the Explore Life. Now we looked at a few different wheel bags. This one online really stands out. So good. It's fully, like it's hard, so it's shaped like a bin. You just drop your bin liner in there and whatever else you want to use for the pockets. Fully waterproof. Mate, this thing is really good, really good. It's the one that we decided to go for.
Yeah, quick turnaround. We got a bit of merch too.
Yeah. And then onto this side. So we separated this. This is my day-to-day sort of working drawer. So this is tools, spares, bits and bobs that we need to carry while we're out and about. Our camp chairs, they go straight in the back here, so they just slip down there and keep out the way. All this top area, storage, whatever you need. My compressor, this just in there, but I think I might maybe hard mount that somewhere. I don't know, we'll just work out what we need to do. I've got a few cordless tools in here, and this is our electrical system. These all just clip-on little mounts that we bought online. I hope the tools will all stay in place. I don't know, we'll soon see. But we've gone iCheck World for all our stuff. And so far the iCheck World stuff works really well. We've rocked up, we're fully charged. All right, so with the iCheck World, we're running 200 amp lithium battery. So the battery's here. We've gone for the control hub, which I think is really easy. It wires up simple, and a 2000 watt inverter, which powers through to the other side for our 240 volts of power. Charging that, we've got 300 I've got 250 watt solar panels on the roof, both iCheck wheeled, and they fit perfectly. They go right between the awning, right to the edge of the roof. So they're a perfect fit, making us power just while we're parked up now. So yeah, so far so good. Okay, so we fitted a 270 awning. We've gone with the Bush company because they've got great reviews. It was fairly straightforward to fit, generates so much shade, and it's poleless. It just sits here. There's quite a bit of wind today, and yeah, no problems at all. I've insulated sort of 3/4 of the canopy with just some marine carpet, just from Bunnings, but this keeps this side for the cook area really cool. And then coming through from the power side, I can keep my eye on the batteries here with the battery monitoring display. Tells me what power's coming in, what power's going out, just so we can just keep an eye on things. Yeah, we're really happy. It's turned out really good, yeah, way better than we could have imagined. Okay, so a couple of weeks ago we met up with Mike from Right Way, just to get our weights done. Now that the canopy is on and all set up, we wanted to know exactly what we weighed. We took the caravan along with us, so yeah, check it out and see how that went. All right, we're back with Michael from Right Way. This is for our second weighing. Obviously the first weighing was the car with the old setup. New setup on the car now.
Geez, it looks good.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. So today with the second weigh, the car and also the caravan. Now the caravan is the one that's going to be interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, look, a lot of things can happen when it comes to a caravan being weighed. We can obviously overload. We don't have a lot of payload to play with in most caravans. The average payload allowable is roughly around about 450 kilos.
Yeah.
But some caravans we can get up to 800, 900 kilos. Sometimes people are really unfortunate to have around about only 300 kilos. But we'll see where you guys come in at, because it's not just about the payloads allowable, it's also about the balance of the caravan. Where can we put that stuff? Are we overweight? Where can we alleviate that and transfer that load? And potentially options moving forward if we are overweight, what to take to make that happen.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see what we've got on the caravan, payload especially, but then I'm also interested to see what the car weighs with the new setup. That's exciting for us.
Yeah, do a bit of a comparison from the first way to the new way with the caravan on, the canopy on, so it'll be interesting to see the difference.
Yeah, and since the last way we've gone for a GVM upgrade, with peders. That was all straightforward. We have peders suspension front and rear anyway, but unfortunately when we took it over for them to check it out, our rear shocks were gas filled, not foam filled, so they're not GVM upgradable. So we had to replace the rear shocks. That's done. The upgrade went straight forward, so yeah.
Best possible outcome you could ask for.
Yeah, so a bit more payload in the car, it's good.
All right guys, so for those that are watching, the way the process works when we weigh a vehicle and a caravan setup, we weigh the vehicle first, because I only have the 4 plates, I don't have 8 or 6, so I can't do the whole setup at once. So we'll weigh the vehicle first, and the caravan will actually come up onto blocks the same height so that it stays nice and level. We'll get a weight of the vehicle with the caravan on, and that'll be our GVM plus our front and rear axle masses. And then what we'll do is we'll pop the caravan off and we'll weigh the car on its own. We're going to see a transfer of load from the rear axle to the front axle. And a lot of people say, well, how is that possible? Well, with the tow ball load behind the rear axles, it acts like a bit of a seesaw. If that's 100 kilos of tow ball download, essentially it'll be about 150 kilos of rear axle mass, because the extra 50 kilos comes from the front axle. So it's about 1.5 times the amount of weight of the tow ball load that is added to the rear axle. So if it was 200 kilos, it'd be 300 kilos of rear axle mass. So whatever the weight is that we alleviate from the vehicle, from the caravan, when we take the tow ball, the caravan off the car, that is a tow ball load that is true to the vehicle in combination. So a lot of people are going to be like, how is this possible that's true to the vehicle in combination? And the caravan has its own tow ball load. And the reason for that is when the caravan comes down onto the car, it's actually, we've got the suspension of the car, it levels out nicely. There's no flex in the caravan chassis. But after we've weighed the car on its own, we're going to bring the caravan back down, reverse off the scales and the blocks. I swap around a couple of scales and blocks, and we bring the caravan up onto the scales, car on the blocks. We'll weigh the weight of the wheels of the caravan, which is our GTM, compliance rating as per the compliance plate, whilst the caravan is on the car. That way we can understand the combination, car and caravan combined. And then we'll disconnect the car, drive it forward off the blocks, and bring in the tow ball scale, and we'll focus on our aggregate trailer mass. From there, the tow ball reading will be slightly different to the weight that is removed from the vehicle, because what happens is my tow ball scale is a solid mount. So all that weight, roughly estimate around about 250 kilos of tow ball download, just at this stage as an estimate, that there will actually alleviate onto my tow ball scale, and some of that will transfer through the caravan chassis to the axle. So there's a little bit of flex there. So the tow ball loads are slightly different, but yes, there is actually two tow ball loads, one specific to the car in combination, which is what we remove from the car, and another one that's specific to the caravan when it's weighed on its own. We'll be able to look at the balance of the caravan front to back to make sure the percentage is accurate. Ideally for a single axle caravan, I like it to be around 9.5 to 10% of total weight of the caravan at the hitch. And then we look at the left to right balance as well. Make sure we're not too much weight on one side. It's okay to be a little bit heavier, and specifically on the right hand side, generally speaking, most of the appliances are on that side, batteries, hot water service, kitchen. But generally be a little bit heavier is not too bad. Roads tend to camber to the left anyway. So there's a lot of information, and it's a big education for a lot of people, a lot of my clients, but it'd be interesting to see where these guys come out.
That sounds complicated.
Let's not overwhelm too many people. It's a very easy, simple process, and I provide that education along the way, so you guys have the best possible understanding of your setup, because we do have to know there is not one setup the same. Every setup is different.
Yep, sounds good.
Let's get stuck into it.
All right.
Cool.
Bad result. Alright, so with the weight of the wheels on the road of the caravan, we are allowed 2,498 kilos when we're coupled up to the car. You've came in at 2,332, so it's 166 kilos under. So essentially when you're coupled up to the car, you're allowed 166 kilos in the caravan over the wheels, provided the tow ball weight doesn't change. So that's essentially directly over the axle. But things do change pretty quickly when we're weight distributing anyway. So let's see what the aggregate trailer mass comes in at. So what we'll do now is we'll pop the caravan off the hitch, and then I'll get you to drive forward off the scales and blocks, and we'll focus on the caravan and see where we come in at. So just hold it there for a sec. Go forward. Just the scooter. Yep, there's perfect, and you can shut it off there. I'm not gonna. And now, do we have the water tanks full?
No.
Okay. Because the majority of your driving will be done without water. Excellent. That's a good thing. So we're allowed 2,687. We've came in at 2,566. So 121 kilos under. It's not a lot, but it's under.
Yeah, it's under. That's good. Yeah.
That's good. So we've got a little bit to play with. In terms of the tow ball load that came out of the vehicle was 230 kilos that we removed. The tow ball weight that's true to the caravan is 224. So 224 divided by the total weight of the caravan of 2566 times 100 gives us a percentage of 8.72% total weight of the caravan at the hitch. So it's within the industry standards of around 8 to 10%. So we're not too bad. Actually, to be honest, a little bit more weight forward wouldn't hurt. But when we start to do that, it's going to impact the car. So then we start to use up more payload in the vehicle. So where we're at, it's good. It's not perfect, but it's doable. So,
and we just discussed earlier with the caravan connected to the car, we're very, very tight on our rear axle weights, aren't we?
yes, we are very tight on the rear axle weight with the caravan connected to the car.
Yes, yeah.
Overall mass in the vehicle isn't too bad. But it's just that distribution of load, and it could be with a couple of other accessories that we have on the car that's rearward. It's drawing that extra load off the front axle and just multiplying it to the rear axle. So, and as we see, when we removed the caravan from the car, we alleviated 230 kilos of load out of the vehicle, but we also took away 346 kilos of load off the rear axle. So there's that 1.5 times ratio, multiplication, because we passed back 116 kilos to the front axle. So it's a lot of weight that gets distributed when we put a caravan on, take it off, and this is where we start to look at helping, for me it's all about education, helping provide a better, safer towing experience for my clients
for sure.
in terms of braking and steering control, which is one thing, because cars are designed to take load away from the front axles, but there is a bit of a threshold there when we start to take too much. The steering becomes light, specifically when we're towing a caravan, and then it becomes unsafe. So, but where you guys are at is pretty good.
So I was going to say, so basically, to conclude the weight that we've just done, we're okay.
At this stage, yes. Let's do the GCM number that everyone talks about or raves about.
So that's our combined weight altogether, isn't it?
Correct. So in terms of this vehicle, you're allowed 6 tonne.
Yes.
You've came in at 5,707. So we're 293 kilos under GCM, which is actually really good for this kind of combination, specifically with the accessories we have on the vehicle.
Okay. And that is nice. That's good for us to have peace of mind, you know, at least when we're traveling. As we stand right now, we could travel and we're okay.
Yes. Spot on. So legal and compliant as we sit. But we know there may be a couple of changes coming.
And I mean, obviously the caravan's empty, but that's great. So I need to know that whenever we travel, we'll travel empty and we'll just fill up last minute.
Essentially, when you go to somewhere like a free camp or off-grid, and fill up at the last possible spot. You still got a bit of payload there to play with.
For sure.
It'll definitely get you where you need to be. And it comes down to the individual's preference on how much water they do put on board. Always best to try and stay as legal and as compliant as we possibly can. But in a real-time scenario sometimes, when we're heading into the outback of the bush, you want to take what your necessities need to be.
And with our 300 kilos payload, we've sort of got room for some of that anyway.
Exactly.
Even if it's not full tanks.
No, that's right.
You could travel with half tanks, whatever you need.
Exactly right. So overall results are really good. So I've got to do up the report. I've got all the numbers that I need, and then we can go through that visual report with you guys. So you've got a clear visual understanding of everything, where you're at. Very easy to understand report, and then obviously my recommendation section at the end. That you guys can take on board and do with what you wish. But I think you guys are going to have an amazing trip.
Cool. All right, Michael, that's great. We'll look at the conclusion that you put together. But thank you.
No, so welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. Anytime.
Okay, so there you have it. Actually, wasn't that bad. Having the GVM upgrade on the car has obviously helped the car. Otherwise, I don't know that there'd have been much left in it. Not with the caravan being put on the back anyway. So it's turned out to be not so bad at all. So all in all, to sum it up, we're really happy. It's turned out really well. We're set up here at Willabinga on the beach just for the afternoon. Then once we head home, we'll sit down and we'll talk figures about this build with you guys.
However, this is the bit that I don't think anybody really likes talking about, but we also know that everybody wants to know. It's the kind of thing that we want to know. We want to know how much these things cost. So we have gone through all of our costings and how much we spent. And I think it's really important to say right from the start that you don't need to do this.
No,
The setup that we
sure.
had before, there was nothing wrong with it. You know, for us to be doing full-time travel, this is what, you know, we're aiming for. I think the setup that we had was probably perfectly good enough, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We had everything that we needed.
For sure. You could travel Australia with what we had.
Yeah.
We've done this to make life a bit easier for ourselves.
Yeah. And not only that, well, like when we started watching YouTube videos, you know, years ago, when we started caravanning ourselves and getting into that kind of thing, and we saw other people with the setup, it was always like the goal, you know, but it was always like, it's money that you don't really want to be spending. And the only reason that we have done this is, well, not the only reason, but one of the main reasons that we did this is because Darren and I have always had motorbikes. Yeah. So we've had motorbikes for years. And obviously, if you've been following us, you'll know what's happened. And we decided that we were going to sell our motorbikes because neither of us want to ride. We've ridden our whole lives, but this is, you know, it's now time to move on and to use the money to do something that we really wanted to do. Yeah.
We just thought that we could, we're not going to ride anymore, so let's get rid of,
sell the bikes,
or sell all the bikes, all the gear that we had, everything. And there was quite a bit there because we had a few motorbikes, didn't we, for a while?
So we had 4 motorbikes. I'll drop a photo in. So Darren had the Fireblade, which was a 900 Fireblade, which he restored. It's a
1993 Fireblade.
1993 Fireblade, which he fully restored, and that was actually the one that we got the most money for. Because it was an old bike. I had a GSX R1000. Again, we bought that where it needed a bit of TLC, and obviously being in a panel beating industry and Darren's gross knowledge of is that the right word? Gross knowledge of motorbikes. He just loves stripping them down and, you know, cleaning them, fixing them all up. They all had custom paint jobs. So so they had the GSX R1000. Darren and I both also had Suzuki Bandit 1250s. And we also had 2 little mini KTM bikes for our grandchildren.
We had little KTM 50 motocross bikes, for the kids.
We had numerous leather jackets. Numerous helmets and riding gear, and it all went. We sold it all. I'm not going to tell you the figure, but this more than paid for what we're about to run through now. So we still have money in the bank from everything that we sold. So again, this is why we've done this, is because we didn't want just the money just to go on nothing or something silly. We wanted to see where our money went, because we love those bikes. So we did love those bikes. But it was a decision that we made that we weren't going to ride again. So we want to put it somewhere where we can see it. And this is why we've got the Canopy. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, so the main thing that we bought was the Canopy. So Darren did a lot of research, looking at canopies, what we could afford, you know, what we wanted to spend. We didn't want to go crazy because we knew that it wasn't going to end with the Canopy. We knew that you've got the fit out, you've got a lot of money to spend getting it up to what we wanted. So we kind of wanted, you know, we could have spent an absolute fortune on some of them out there, but we didn't want to do that. We wanted something that we liked and didn't cost the air. I
know, because when you start looking, like it, you can literally go from this figure right up to this figure here, right? And down here you've got like a budget canopy, and up here you've got extremely high end. So
we actually had
you can just keep spending.
We actually had decided on a different canopy.
We had,
the morning that we woke up, that we said, right, we're going to go and have a look at this canopy today. There was a new shop opening, and it was like an hour or so's drive away, wasn't it? And we were like, right, let's go and have a look at this canopy. And then Darren had said that it was a toss-up between that one, and he'd also been looking at the MRT canopies, but he thought that the MRT canopies were better, but slightly more. So I was like, well, I'm not driving everywhere, so pick one, and Darren picked the MRT. So we drove out to MRT, which is near Bibra Lake, so it's a good hour's drive for us. And and initially we were going to have the
it was a separate tray and canopy initially what we were going for, because that was basically all that was in our budget. So we got to MRT and we had a look, didn't we? And we were getting a tray and separate canopy.
In fact, we actually that's the one we were going for, wasn't it? We actually asked them to put together a price. But we knew that, well, actually, after speaking to somebody there, they told us that they were going to be at the four-wheel drive show. And straight away we thought, oh, there could be a deal on here. So they had to write everything up for us anyway and give us like a full quote, and then you sign off on that quote. So basically, in the 2 weeks from seeing the canopy to when we went to the four-wheel drive show ready to sign up, we made the decision to pay the little bit extra for the chassis mount canopy. Just after what we'd seen in their showroom, we were like, do you know what, if we're going to do this, let's do this.
So going for the chassis mount enabled us to have much extra, well, we could utilise all that extra room that's in there.
So, okay, first figure is the MRT chassis mount Explorer package canopy, and that came in with the show special at $15,599. Okay, so that was the first thing. So we already knew that we wanted to go iTech World for all of our electrical needs, isn't it? So we have iTech World set up on our caravan. We love them. They're WA. That we can just run out and get whatever we need, or even order stuff online, and literally 2 days later it turns up at work. So
never had a problem.
Never had any issues. They're always so good to deal with. But we did wait for them to have their specials on. So a couple of times a year, if you're not in any great hurry, wait for them to get the specials, because you have a massive saving. I actually haven't got the original prices of what they were before the special, but I'm sure you can look yourself and see. We also had a discount code from one of the followers, from one of the people that we follow on YouTube, which was Sarah and Keelan. So thank you, Sarah and Keelan. I did email them and let them know that we had this good deal. So the iTech World package that we've got, we had the 200 amp hour lithium battery, which was 1,234. We got the 2,000 watt 12 volt pure sine inverter, which was 549. We got two 150 watt solar panels, and they were 378 for both. We got a 12 volt control hub with a 40 amp DC-DC charger, and that was at $616. So that was pretty much us. Oh, and also you bought the readout as well, wasn't it? I think that was about $100.
For the readout and the shunt, just so I can see what's going on. But that was extra in there.
Okay. So then also we got the Bushman's fridge. So that's the 130 litre fridge, and we bought the surround. You don't need the surround. You said you thought it was easier to fit with the surround, but then we haven't got one without the surround, so I don't know how anybody would fit it without the surround.
Well, the surround does two things. It protects the fridge from things rolling around in the canopy, so the fridge is protected straight away, and because it's designed for that fridge, it screws to the fridge, and it just makes it really secure, and nothing goes anywhere. Once it's locked in and bolted in, it's solid. Yep.
So the Bushman's fridge was $1,495 and the surround was $495. So I mean, you probably wouldn't need it if you can maybe figure something out yourself. You wouldn't have to pay the extra, but we chose to pay the extra for the nice surround, so that was good. Then we knew we always wanted like one of those awnings, so the big 270 awning. We've seen a few people have got them, but we weren't really sure which one to go with, which brand. So Darren got on good old Google, and we were sort of like seeing, I mean, there's many out there from many different price brackets. So it's basically just going to depend on what your budget is. So we have seen a lot of the people that we follow, quite a few of the people that we follow, have the Bush Company awning. So it is up there with one of the most expensive ones, or the more expensive ones, but they've got great reviews, everybody loves them, and we just sort of decided on that, based on that, to get a Bush Company awning.
We did,
didn't we?
Yeah. And you don't have to do that. You can. There's plenty of other brands.
There's heaps when we started looking, wasn't there?
Yeah. So do your own research. Work out where you want to invest, what you want to spend your money on. And just go from there. Check the reviews and.
Yep. Did I say how much it was?
No.
Okay, so the Bush Company awning was $2,650.
It's expensive.
So it is up there, but it's great. And I was able to drive actually to Midland. Is it Midland 4-wheel drive?
Yeah.
It's M4C in Midland. I can't remember what it's called now. But yeah, they're so helpful, and I literally just drove there and they put it in the car for me, brought it, or actually I took it straight to work and Darren fitted it. So it was just easy rather than ordering it online.
And when you fit it, you quickly realise where all the quality is. You know, the huge big brackets on there. It is a lot of money, but it's probably worth it, and this will last us a long time. So okay, so we're nearly done. The last couple of things were just the drawers. So we really wanted to go with the MRT drawers, but the MR2 do a pantry, but we wanted like a bigger pantry. I mean, their pantry was great. It was all enclosed, and if they did on a bigger one, I definitely would have gone with the MRT. But they didn't have the size that we wanted, so we ended up going to a company called MW. I think they do a lot of online sales, but as it happens, they are literally just around the corner from work. So we went in and had a look, and ended up buying them there and there. And so we ended up getting, again, we kind of knew what we wanted. We really wanted a pull-out bench top. So, and again, MRT don't do a drawer with a pull-out bench top. So we got the double drawer, which was $899, and we got the pantry, which was $699. Yeah. And the double drawer's great. It's got like a slimmer drawer at the top, a deeper one at the bottom, and it's got the pull-out bench slide, whatever you want to call it, for
which
cooking
we used
on,
today.
prepping
it was
on.
Perfect. So put the little cooktop on there, and it was great.
So the MW drawers sort of ticked all the boxes for us, didn't they?
It
works
perfect.
well.
And finally, the on the driver's side, we have the big, it's a 750 by 550 deep drawer. It's quite a heavy duty drawer, which we needed, because that's got some heavy stuff in there, because it's all of your tools. It's everything that was in your big drawer that you had in the old Canopy.
It's sort of all the bits and bobs, tools.
It's like a toolbox, really, isn't it? Yeah.
Things that we need to just keep our setup going. So
So that MRT drawer was $659. So all up, we spent on that canopy. I mean, bearing in mind that we did buy, there was extra stuff. We ended up buying the marine carpet. You bought the ply to build all the surrounds and everything, and you know, there was other bits and bobs that we built that we bought to do the whole setup. So you know, it's going to be a little bit more than this, but basically on everything that we've just covered, the total came in at $25,273. So
wow, I know. But I mean,
it sounds like a lot. It is a lot.
Yeah.
And like we said right at the start, you don't need to do this. this is something that we wanted to do, and you know, after selling the bikes, we had the money to do it. And
that's right. I mean, had we had to just put our money in our pocket, put our hands in our pocket for that type of money, would we have done that? Wouldn't we? I don't know.
Probably not.
Who knows? But I mean, you guys just got to work to your budget. This is only what we've decided to do for our reasons. You know, you can travel Australia and not spend that type of money if you don't want to. But also, if you want, you could spend double that.
Oh, of course, like
very easily. Very easily.
Absolutely,
so I think our setup is it's very middle of the road.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's fair to say. It's pretty much a middle of.
It's functional. I think it's going to last us a reasonable amount of time. Without too many problems, hopefully. I don't know.
Oh, it better.
I think I think it's going to work for us.
Well, I think it's safe to say that we're both really, really happy with the setup.
Yeah, we are.
And today was the first time that we actually got out and used it, and it was good having the kids with us. We've got them for the school holidays, so which is good. It was just nice doing a bit of four-wheel driving and putting the car through its paces. The car's had quite a bit of work done as well on it. You know, recently with we've had a tune and. We've just had a new clutch put in, haven't you? We've upgraded the suspension. You know, that's all in the other chat. But we have.
That's right. I mean, it's all new. You know,
getting it all ready.
After the GVM upgrade and the tune, and then obviously with the making a little bit more power, we had to replace the clutch. So all these things are new in the car. So it's nice for us to be able to go away and test it all, make sure there's no teething problems, and. Today we did, I don't know, we were an hour on the dirt into where we got where we got to. It was pretty rough.
Yeah, it was very rough.
So
pretty gnarly. It's the most gnarly we've done in a long time.
Yeah. So that was good. I think the car's had a good run and no problems. Same with everything in there. You know, we didn't open the doors and it all fell on the floor. So that's a good thing.
That was all good.
So
that's it. So this brings us to the end of our episode. So I hope that you've all enjoyed it. We've tried to make it as interesting as possible, but we don't actually have a date to set off yet. There's lots of things going on and we can't go until everything is settled and sorted. So I think we're probably going to be looking sort of September time onwards. Anytime, hopefully, between September and December, we'll be able to.
We are hoping, to be out on the road, full-time travel
until everything is until everything is settled. We can't really pin a date on it, but it is getting there, and you know, we are working to sort of August, September, and then any time after that, we'll pretty much be ready to go. So we just need everything else to fall into place. And then then we'll be hitting the road full time. Can't wait.
Yeah, I know. I can't wait either. That's going to be so good.
So the plan is that when we are full time on the road, we will be putting out weekly videos. So if you want to see what we get up, please like and subscribe because this will be what keeps us on the road longer. So
I know. And already, if you guys got any questions, we'll answer what we can for you. About us and our setup. And what our plans are. So ask away.
And thank you for everybody's support as well. Over this past year, it's been quite a difficult year for us. And we haven't done much because of that, but some of the comments that we've had, people reaching out, has been really lovely. So,
it is nice.
Thank you. But that's it. So hopefully we will see you on the road soon. Okay.
Alright guys, well, we'll wrap it up here. That's the end of this one. And we'll catch up with you on the next one.
Thanks. Safe travels.
See you guys.
See ya.
Bye.